Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at Victoria 3, a game that just recently came out, and today it had been updated to the version 104. I have played it before. You can perhaps see here that it tells me that the save of the previous game is on a different version. Now, I assume it still works because the update that they have released, it's really kind of a bug fixes and kind of small adjustments and improvements in terms of balancing the game. Now, so this is the Grand Edition version of the game. Unfortunately, I was late at the party and did not buy it during the pre-release, so I did not get the Victoria 2 soundtrack for it. Nevertheless, the American DLC here is included, and also the Grand Edition allows me to get the other DLCs that are in the pipeline. So that's that. I have played it before, as I've said. I'm still learning. I'm very noob at the game, so I am really hoping, guys, that you will be able to give me some pointers and tips and tricks and point out what I'm doing wrong here. I've played. I'm not unfamiliar with the genre. I have played Crusader Kings, obviously. I have played Imperator Rome. So I am quite familiar, but this game is very, very complex because there are so many politics involved. The balancing act between the economy, the military, the everything else. It's quite a lot. So what I'm hoping here to do, as I said, I've played it before, maybe just a few hours just to kind of get a feel of the game before I'll make a fool out of myself on YouTube. So I guess I know a couple of things and what to do. But what I do want to do is to learn the game. And what we'll do then is we'll just go through, I guess, the basics. And then I would really appreciate, guys, if you could give me pointers. It'll be very, very helpful. So I'd like to play as Sweden. We're not changing any of the game rules. We'll just leave them as they are because they are recommended for someone that is a novice. So let's just jump into it. I really love the splash art. I think it's really, really good. I'm not fan of the font, I have to say. It is, yeah, it's just not quite there. It's just because there's so much text. I think the font is quite lacking. I know it kind of goes with the theme, but it looks very, yeah, it looks very simple. I think this is the Times New Roman. It's just there's something not quite right about it. I can't really pinpoint it, but that's fine. So this is just an overview on what to do. It tells us how to expand the tooltips, the bureaucracy, influence, and the authority. Yeah, the money, the info panels, the lenses, which are down here. And there are multiple ones. We're looking at the trade, the military, the diplomatic lens, the political lens, and obviously the production. So each and one of them gives us different things to do. So let's say the production shows us what we can produce, and the region of our country, of our territory, I should say, will highlight depending on what we have actually chosen. And then we can, so for instance, if we go with, these are very broad and you can build them anywhere. So if we go with Yeah, like a construction set. So everywhere it can be, because it can be constructed everywhere, we can either click on a map or we can click here on the list. So let's just close this as the game wants us to, so we can progress. Then it wants us to unpause the game, so let's do that. And it's just paused it. Oh yeah, it wants us to take a look at the journal. Journal is where we can kind of fulfill the different quests that the game assigns us throughout. So these are actually very, very useful. Tell me how and tell me why. So tell me how do I do something that the game wants us to do, basically, and then tell me why. It'll give us an overview why the game thinks that we should build something or expand something, etc. So it's actually quite good. It wants us to Gotland. Expand the livestock in Gotland. Okay. Yeah, let's just unpause the game. So one thing I have noticed is the game is really, really well done in terms of the graphics. But it sort of lacks. I would have hoped to be a bit more lively, I guess, when it comes to military, when it comes to ships. There are, but they just seem to be kind of coming and going. There doesn't seem to be. It doesn't correlate with the route, let's say, that with the routes that we're setting up. It's just a visual kind of a thing, if that makes sense. Same with the trains. The train just kind of come and go, but apart from that, the map is very quiet. It's just very. It's lovely to look at. They're very good graphics, I guess. But they are. Yeah, it's just there isn't much of a movement happening, especially when it comes to military. I think that there is a bit. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I would have liked that there was more. Not necessarily a massive army like in Total War, for instance, but yeah, definitely a bit more on the visual side. So that's that. We are playing as Sweden. Sweden back then was quite powerful. As you can see, we are 16th in terms of power in the world. We are still counted as minor power, but this changes fairly fast, especially that Sweden has special relationship with Norway. Yeah, it's an personal union. Therefore, we share kind of the common market. We share. People can actually migrate back and forth between the countries, so it's actually quite useful that way. You can see this is the Swedish market, which consists of Sweden, Norway. We can then expand it on other countries once our market, our economy, I should say, grows. So we can then. The only thing we cannot do, because Finland now belongs to Russia, or does it? Yes, it does. Yeah, it belongs to a Russian market, so it'll be almost impossible to change that. It'll be a gigantic task indeed. But Denmark is actually quite obtainable when it comes to the aligning our markets, if that makes sense, so they could actually adopt the Swedish market. At the same time, I am unsure what that does for us, for our economy. I think maybe the trading is easier, but it's hard to say. Okay, so we're chatting, but I think we need to kind of move along with certain things. Interests we have. Okay, yeah. So we've completed the first one. So interests we have 2, so we can expand it. I think what we could do is to do it here, North Sea. It would just make sense, I think. We could always colonize it and then, let's say, have somewhere here down in Australia or New Zealand, or here in the kind of Indonesian region, to have a colony there. Okay, so that's that. Then they want us to change a production method on a rye farm. Okay, so let's just have a look at our buildings first. And how many rye farms we have? We have 3. We have 3 rye farms. So perhaps let's do it on the Scania one, and production method would be less liquor. How are we with liquor? Okay, so we are missing 109 liquor in the entire Swedish market, which is not great, because that means the base price, or the price basically of that good then goes up, which affects our standard of living. So we'll need to, now the grain is good, but what is the grain needing? Not sure. Maybe tools? So we need to get the tools going, but the game wants us now to... So we get more grain, but less... Let's just try this. So what's gonna happen is that, yes, so now we're overproducing fruit. We are fine with grain. Just about. Yeah, the game just adjusted. And sugar we're also fine with. So as far as this farm goes, I'm quite happy with it because of the goods needed. Now you can see, because we're overproducing these goods, we are now, the farm itself is losing money, because obviously the consumption isn't at the level that the farm would have wanted to. But we can adjust this by selling some of it. So what we can do is to sell perhaps some of the sugar. So let's do that. And Russian, Prussian, Dutch, Spanish, Danish. Danish wouldn't give us any money, but we'll go with the best paid. I don't really understand very well when it comes to trading, so I understand that the export would keep the business growing, so we wouldn't have to subsidize it. When it comes to money making here in general, I do struggle. The reason for it is because I just find that because the trade is not something that we control, and it doesn't directly contribute to our budget, which is obviously not how governments do business, because there are not just private companies out there. And then basically, to my understanding, that's how the game works here, that every single company is a private company. We are investing in those private companies, but we don't get money out of it when it comes to trading. So it's a bit silly. It is, because I mean that doesn't work that way. But maybe they've done it to balance the game better, or maybe I just don't understand it. It'll be good if I could get some someone that perhaps knows the game a bit better. Some sort of an insight. It'll be very, very helpful. Same when it comes to importing. I do not know if... So this tells me productivity. And it says that there will be some trade revenue. But at the same time, is that it? I mean, do we not pay for the goods? How are we getting money out of something that we need and we should pay for it? I mean, it just makes no sense to me. It's just, I don't know. Okay. So that's that. So we have sugar, so we don't care. But we do not have other things. So let's just check the balance. We're quite good with fish, grain, fruit, because we've just changed the production. It still wants us to change it for some reason. Okay, so the market now seems to be this. The reason for it is because the ports are overwhelmed. We could also build a railway at some point once we have it unlocked via the research. So now in every region we need to expand ports. Yeah, okay, let's do that quickly. Okay, so back to the market, which shows us what goods are we producing and what goods we will need, basically. Now, tools are important. Let's just see, we are producing tools in... where? We're producing tools in Scania. And Scania... we probably would need to expand it also. Let's just speed up time. But this will have a knock-on effect on other things that we'll need, which is... let's just take a look. Where are the tools? Here. As well as that, this is gonna take quite a bit of time. But yes, we lack of iron and we lack of wood. Wood is actually one of the biggest issues, I think, here anyway, in this region. From what I have noticed, when it comes to wood, we have quite a bit of logging camps. We can perhaps change a production of it. Not just yet. Yeah, we definitely need more. We need more. So we're gonna increase this. We also should increase, let me just take a look. Yeah, so we are 600,000, we have 600,000 of gold reserves, but that will go down very, very fast. And we'll need a... We only have one. Another one here would be actually quite good, I think. Cannot expand. Oh, construction site. Yeah, okay. Okay, so another construction site, because otherwise this one will struggle. It'll take a very long time to build anything. As you can see now, the balance goes down. But let's just take a look at our government. We can reform it. We have monarchy. Let's just take a look. Okay, industrialists, they don't like us. They don't like us. Intelligentsia don't like us. Petite bourgeoisie don't like us. And rural folk don't like us. Okay, Church of Sweden. Okay, so if we... And what about them? Ah, okay. So now this improved it somehow. No. Also no. Intelligentsia also no. So if we leave... What about them? No. Okay. So if we leave industrialists and landowners, we'll... The only thing is that they will gain... We'll gain radicals and we'll gain we'll lose loyalists. but at the same time, the legitimacy will improve, and legitimacy is important because I guess that affects the entire government's our approval rate, I believe. Okay, so let's go with that. Yeah, okay. We would want to improve law enforcement. Now this gives the landowners political strength, but also there is less of a penalty when it comes to turmoil. Now, we're not too pressed about turmoil yet because people quite like us. There aren't that many radicals. But we would want to improve the standard of living. As of currently, the average is impoverished, which is... It's really influenced by the amount of goods that we lack. So yeah, I'm quite afraid, I guess, to import things because again, I don't think I have full understanding of the system. But what we can do is when it comes to trading. So wood, instead of, because we are exporting wood and I don't seem to be able to cancel it. Yeah, there's just not a way. Because it happens automatically. Oh, that's the British market, okay. So we're importing 2 of those, and that's not something that I have said, I have set up, neither I have a way of cancelling it. It's just the game assigns it automatically. But what we want to do is to basically restrict, and based on that, the game adjusts. So if we restrict it to protect the domestic supply, the game will impose a 10% tariff on that particular good. Therefore, the export of that good will reduce. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened there. So if I'll change it to protect the supply, the tariff goes up. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Okay. So let's change it all, because we really, you can see by the values here how much more expensive it is to get it in Sweden. Luxury as well, these as well, these as well, these as well. So really much everything. And now, oh yes, I can cancel the import here. Because it's an import. I think it's just the export that I have, that the game has set up, basically. Cannot be cancelled. Oh no, this one can. Huh. So, is it because of this policy? So, if I cancel that... Yeah. Okay. Cancelled route to the British market. Huh. I can now cancel them. Okay. Yes, so I would like to... Oh no, the imports, I would not like to cancel it, but everything that's exporting. Sugar... this is what we've set up before. Now it says 0. It's interesting. Battalions in reserve, that's fine. Expensive. Iron and tools. Yes, we need to improve iron at some point. And the best way... Yeah, there is an iron mine here. I think the best way to kind of handle, especially when it comes to resources like this, well, what works for me, I should say, is to leave the game or that particular building at auto expand. Because we'll always need raw resources like this, I think it's fairly safe to do it, because I mean, it can always be sold in terms of exports and things like that. And even at that, because you'll be adding other industries that will be using that resource anyhow. I mean, almost at any point, you'll never really be in a position where you would need to subsidize wood, let's say, or iron for that matter, and things like that. The buildings, the production buildings, so one of the examples would be like the clothing manufacturing, or the motor one, or the steel one, for instance. Yes, that can overproduce, and at some point it just won't be making as much money. But the raw resources, because they're used in so many different things, you really can leave it at auto expand. It works for me anyway, because then you don't have to worry about, oh, have I got enough? Because the game then adjusts itself based on the needs of the market. And it doesn't go beyond that either, so it's not just keep expanding until it's completely overwhelmed. Okay, so the production method needs to be active for at least 4 weeks. And we have changed it, though, haven't we? We have... Yes, we have. And now let's just take a look at rye, because... Okay, so grain we're fine with. So when it comes to that... No, the liquor is always an issue. Always an issue. But let's take a look at the... Yeah, we're expanding the tools as well. So this is actually what confuses me. Why is there a difference between unemployed and peasants? And then what we get is that, yeah, what's the difference? I mean, what? I mean, are unemployed not peasants, or are peasants not counted as unemployed, or unemployed are the upper class people? It's just quite strange that the game is listed as that. I'm not quite sure why is there two different I guess statistics for that particular thing. So if I understand if I run out of peasants, I don't have workforce as such. But are those peasants not unemployed? Are they just, so what? I don't know. I don't really understand this very much, to be honest. So it'll be good to find out what it is. Okay, so we are really struggling to have access to the market. Now we're expanding those, but we're expanding it very, very slowly. Because of that one particular, construction office only. So let's just speed up the game. It'll be... where are we? Yep. Yep. Because we want to improve this. That's now 100, and that's 86, 89, 92, 94. So that's 97. The infrastructure is just slightly above. Okay, and in the meantime we're getting these pop-ups, and these are different events. An affair between whatever Axel and Anders. Spouse, okay. Yeah, so very similar like in the CK3, where you have someone's spouse or partner having an affair with someone else. Okay, so here very similar. Axel. Okay, so these are two, our general and whoever that is, politician. He could be perhaps ahead of the petite bourgeoisie. Not sure. Anyway, let's just go with that. Okay, so they want us to enact two laws. One is the censorship, which has... Yeah, I think I like the right of the assembly because it does not have any opposition at all. So I'm not really sure what's that about. And then this. Now we have interventionism, and that seems to have very little endorsement, but people don't really care about this. Whereas others have opposition, and we don't want opposition because that provides penalty in terms of they can convert into being radicals. So we don't really want that. But the trade unions are loving the current one. Yeah, let's leave it at that. I mean, no one cares, so why would we? Fine. Okay, and then the gold is going down slightly. It's just because we're constructing a couple of things. Those ports are important. Yeah, 94, 97, 100, and 100. And this one, 100 also. Yeah, okay. And... oh yeah, central banking, that gives us a bit of gold in terms of minting. Now, what are we researching? Postal savings. Okay, the game just chose it, I guess, from before or from when you start. We didn't have any say in that. Okay. We want to expand the offices because this takes forever. So what we're gonna do is let's just jump to the top. So once you hold Alt on the keyboard and you press the little arrow, it just jumps to the top of the list. So now the construction holds in the port and it starts in the construction office here. Perhaps if we... yes. This is now chosen, so it's better. It uses more resources, but the buildings are constructed faster. I still don't understand. Does this want us to... because we've changed it. Does it still want to... does it want us to do it on all of them? How are we doing here? Yeah, so we're just below sugar now because of the... and we're doing fine with tools. We have not expanded. Yes, we still have to expand the tool workshop. And now our iron is very behind, but it's on auto expand, so that's okay. So let's just take a look at the farms again. We have... I mean... we'll just change it to... we'll just change it to this. To rye only or grain only. So we have surplus of grain, which I believe impacts standard of living if there is enough grain. The only thing is that this as a business doesn't seem to be doing quite well because they're losing money. But this should adjust shortly. And then let's just take a quick look at this. And we'll change this to... yeah, where we need liquor. We'd need liquor. And there are no farms here at all because it's the north. Are farms here? There are. The only thing is that population-wise, there's very few people here. Very few people here. Well, that's a bit of a bummer because... Yeah, I don't understand why this isn't going away. Is it just because it wants us to change? Okay, yeah, it wanted us to change it on all of them. Okay, so let's leave it at that. Now we have surplus of them 3, but now we are lacking alcohol big time. And alcohol is where we get our taxes from. Yeah, as you can see, it's just rampant. It's really bad. But we can get it from food industries as well. Okay, that's very interesting. I would like to do it in the capital region because that has the most amount of population. So I think let's do it 3 times. Because that's quite urgent. Okay, and now we've completed the assignment. Perfect. And we need to expand the shipyards. And the shipyards... Yeah, okay. Military. We lack of wood. And we lack of clippers. Yeah, let's just expand it as the game wants us to. Yeah, we're hemorrhaging the money big time now. It's going to be quite tough, but that's okay. Let's just leave it for now. I mean, at any point we can also pause the production. Okay, so now we can choose the next focus here in terms of research. I think this. Yeah, I think this, because that gives us infrastructure, which helps us out with the, I guess, other things. Now, I know that the infrastructure can be improved, so let's say we can improve it here. Yes, it can be improved with one of the decrees, road maintenance, and that costs us authority, which is fine. Perfect. And I guess authority is... I think this is for like alliances and different things and custom markets and things like that. I do think that, or maybe that's the influence for. An authority is for these. For different kind of additional laws and I guess benefits and things like that. Okay, so I can encourage... Oh yes, okay. Well, that's good. So what we can do is to encourage social mobility. Yeah, okay. We can encourage the industry and farming. So let's just encourage 3 of them. So what did that do for us? Let's take a quick look. We are now looking at... Yeah, Scandinavian forests. And this is only agriculture, ranches and plantations. So I guess logging camp does not count as an agriculture, which is a shame. Okay, let's take a look at this. Only 2%. It's supposed to be 20. Maybe it hasn't kicked in yet? I mean, it is. Or does fishery also does not count as an agriculture? Huh. Right. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, see, it has increased. Okay. So now we're getting more fabric and more meat. Meat is, yeah, kind of on the verge, I guess. On the verge, okay. And then farms. Yeah, we've plenty here, so that's fine. So this is actually quite good, isn't it? I mean, you can increase 20% productivity with that decree. I don't know why we would want to change a capital. I guess perhaps if you're taking a huge land over. Okay, we are nearing. Probably need to stop the construction immediately. Yes, okay. Woof. Well, that was close. Literally down to 0. Okay, yeah. Yeah, the construction can kill us. Okay, the censorship, they want us badly to do it. 53%. That's not great now, I must say, because I do not like it. But it gives us, yeah, the technology, it's just interest groups bolstered. Yeah, I don't bolster anything yet. Let's take a look. These are the battalions in reserve. The duel. Okay, Oscar and Johannes. And who are they? I wish it did say that, let's say, such and such is ahead of the party or something. I presume that's what they are. Politician. I mean, he could be just anyone. Let them fight. I don't know what's... Oh, someone is fighting. Yes, we don't want to affect the entire group. Oscar. But like, what? And this is another thing. Why would we care if they lose popularity? I mean, how does that impact us? That's fine. Let them just fight. Sort it out, guys. Ain't nobody have time for that. Okay, so that's that. And then we're out of money, so there isn't much we can do now. The Church of Sweden doesn't like us. The armed forces don't like us. I think it's just because of this. Okay, so another tech tree. Okay, that keeps coming. Now, food. How are we doing with food? So if we'll take a look at balance. So we've plenty fish. We could perhaps export it. Prussian market will pay some of it for it. But again, this isn't a balance that's... There's nothing here that says it's just income. Income is, I guess, just taxes, nothing else. Not trade routes. Yeah, so that's... I'm kind of quite struggling with that to understand the economy here. Very much so. Okay, so right of the assembly, they do not want that to happen. They want the censorship. We're not going to implement it. No home affairs, not really something that they into. Oh, what's happened? Okay, so I think this is our admiral. And the leader of the armed forces has made a remarkable play for power in the capital. Okay. Okay. Well, let's just go with this. Shall be recognized for this, because I don't understand. Yeah, because then we lose the approval of the group. Yeah, let's just go with this. Right. There is one here, but it won't let us enact it because Okay, we need to invent pharmaceuticals. Okay. And then schools. Where is schools? Yeah, we can actually do this. This will allow us to colonize other regions, which is what we want as well. So let's leave it at that. We can only implement one law at a time, as one would expect. The money now is going back up, so that's brilliant to see. And let's just implement that law, and that will then allow us to get that ball going. Oh, another research to sewage. Perfect. So let's just take a quick look. Yeah, so that improved. You can see now that improved the infrastructure for us. And so we're getting now 36.99 from POPs. Perfect. And the population is going. Let's just see. Yeah, the migration is crazy. And they're coming from Norway and from other regions of the country. Now, this country, unfortunately, is losing people. Norland. The reason for it is because there isn't much happening here, let's be honest. I mean, we have no buildings, so it's just fishery and a logging camp. But this is a great place to get our iron, which we will once we'll complete these. But that's gonna take a bit of time because we only are at now 250k, and we have shipyards, iron mine already constructing or expanding, and then the food industries, which are important for where do we get yes, we need alcohol and we need it fast. Yes, okay, so we'll leave it at that. So then it'll, I wonder if we can perhaps sneak that in because it'll be very helpful. So let's just resume it and see. The gold will go down slightly, but as you can see, it actually uses the investment pool because we're investing into a private industry. And the investment pool is something that the upper class basically pays towards us expanding industries, etc. So let's do that. We can now pause it because the money is going down, and there we go. We have now implemented the colonial exploitation, which will allow us in turn to colonize different regions. And let's just take a quick look. Diplomacy, and not subject, interest. Now we will need to change our interest because we cannot colonize something that's already colonized, obviously. But let's take a look at, instead of this, we'll go with yeah, can we do it here? I wonder. This is probably all colonized. Of course it is. We need to find a, like, somewhere here. Let's just take a quick look. Yeah, like somewhere here. This is New South Wales, United Tribes. Show me United Tribes. Okay, these are United Tribes. So either here or even here. But we can then colonize these. And this is the market. Okay. Yeah, so New Zealand seems to be a good plan, I think. Yes. Now, oh, what's this? A storage tank full to the brim with molasses intended for rum distillation has burst, flooding the streets of Stockholm. Oh, well, isn't that great? Okay, and oh well, killing dozens of injuring. Okay, that's not great then. Minus 50% of food production for 5 years. Or, yeah, no, we don't want radicals. So let's do this. Yeah, they're growing like crazy. They're growing. Okay, so now we can establish a colony. Actually, in few regions. Yeah, crystal glass. Okay, perfect. But we wanted here in South Island, so we can do a colony here. Perfect. So we will let that go, and we'll have Sweden and New Zealand in a while. Okay, and let's just choose, this is about to research by itself, so that's fine. Let's just choose this because that gives us prestige, the realism. Okay, guys, let's leave it here. It's been an interesting one, a learning curve, a balancing act between money and the government and the production. I'm probably doing a lot of things wrong. I would love for you to point it out to me and let me know. And yeah, I am going to play this again, and we'll continue that in the next one. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Take care. Stay hooked.